Hi, I'm Alicia. For 35 years, I poured everything into this Victorian house on Maple Street. After Frank passed, this place became even more precious. Mom, Vanessa and I are having financial troubles, my son Marcus said over coffee, eyes fixed on the table. The startup isn't doing well. What do you need? I asked. We might need a place to stay for a little while, just until things pick up. Define a little while, I said. 3 months tops, Marcus promised. Vanessa already has some leads. You're always welcome here. Thanks, Mom. Vanessa will be so happy. She didn't want to come ask herself? Marcus shifted uncomfortably. She's embarrassed about needing help. You know how proud she is. When were you thinking of moving in? This weekend? We already gave notice on our apartment. I nearly choked. You gave notice before asking me? I knew you'd say yes, Marcus said with that charming smile. 3 days later, Vanessa directed movers with military precision. Where do you want this lamp, Mrs. Davis? A mover asked. Vanessa intervened. The lamp goes in the master bedroom. The master bedroom is my room, I said, confused. Marcus didn't tell you? Vanessa's eyebrow arched. We need the master. Our bed won't fit in the guest room. He never mentioned. It's just temporary, she cut in. My friend Diane came over that evening, immediately noticing my distress. You've got that look, Diane said. What happened? They're taking over my bedroom. And you agreed to this? I didn't exactly agree, it just happened. Honey, you need boundaries, Diane warned. First it's your bedroom, then it's... The door swung open. Sorry to interrupt, Vanessa said. But the noise is carrying. We're just talking, Diane replied incredulously. Maybe you could play inside instead, Vanessa suggested with a tight smile. After she left, Diane leaned forward. Did she just shush us on your own porch? It's just temporary, I repeated, the phrase becoming my mantra. 6 months later, I overheard Marcus and Vanessa in the kitchen. Then maybe she should move out, Vanessa was saying. We could buy her a nice condo. She's getting older. Wouldn't she be happier somewhere smaller, without these stairs? Vanessa, this is her house, Marcus replied weakly. I stood frozen, coffee mug clutched in my trembling hand. The betrayal cut deep. Later, my neighbor Tom found me pruning roses. Those plants offend you? He asked. My daughter-in-law wants me to move out of my own house, I confessed. What are you going to do? I looked up at my house. I don't know yet, but I'm not leaving. The next morning, I called my sister Catherine. This is ridiculous, she declared. Have you confronted them? Not yet. I'm still processing. What's there to process? Tell them to pack their bags. It's not that simple. Marcus is still my son. A son who's letting his wife scheme to take your house, Catherine pointed out. How are they planning to buy you out? I thought they were broke. That's what I'm wondering. Have you checked your bank statements recently? After hanging up, I found recent bank statements. Several transfers to an unknown account totaled nearly $15,000 over the past 4 months. I immediately called the bank. Mrs. Davis, those transfers were authorized using your online banking credentials, the representative explained. I rarely use online banking, I countered. And I never authorized these transfers. The transfers were made from your home IP address. Do you share your computer with anyone? My stomach dropped. My son and his wife. Later, I met with my friend Robert, a retired attorney. Identity theft is serious, Robert said, reviewing the statements, especially when it's family. I don't want to jump to conclusions, I hedged. Maybe Marcus needed money for the business. Then he should have asked you, Robert replied firmly. Document everything. Times, dates, amounts. I feel like I'm building a case against my own son. You're protecting yourself, Robert corrected. As I left, I ran into Kimberly, one of Vanessa's friends. Mrs. Davis, how are you? She greeted me. Vanessa told me you're thinking of downsizing. I froze. Downsizing? The condo. Vanessa mentioned you're looking at those luxury units downtown. Said you're tired of maintaining that big old house. Did she now? I kept my voice steady. She's so excited about renovating once you move out. Said something about modernizing the kitchen. Interesting, I managed, considering I have no plans to move. That evening, I called Marcus at his office. "Mom, I'm kind of busy," he answered. "I just wanted to know why people think I'm moving out of my house." The silence spoke volumes. "Marcus? Who told you that?" he finally asked. "Kimberly said Vanessa's been telling people I'm downsizing. Apparently, you two have renovation plans for my kitchen?" "Mom, Vanessa was just thinking ahead." "Thinking ahead to what? Taking my house?" "No one's taking anything," Marcus insisted. "We need to talk. Dinner's at 6. Don't be late." I hung up and called Diane. "I need you to come over tonight and bring Tom. I think I'm going to need witnesses." Dinner that night was carefully orchestrated. I set the table with my best dishes with Diane and Tom as dinner guests. By 6:15, everyone was seated except Marcus. "Should we wait?" Tom asked. "No need," I said. "Marcus knows what time dinner is served." "I'm sure he's just caught up at work," Vanessa said smoothly. "Funny you should mention work." Marcus rushed in. "Sorry I'm late." He stopped, noticing our guests. "Sit down," I instructed. "Your food's getting cold." As everyone ate in uncomfortable silence, I waited before saying, "So, how are those downtown condos looking?" Vanessa choked slightly. Marcus's fork clattered against his plate. "I don't know what you're talking about," Vanessa recovered. "Really? Because Kimberly seemed to think you had it all figured out." "Kimberly misunderstood," Vanessa insisted. "Did my bank misunderstand too?" I asked, producing the statements. "Because someone's been transferring my money without permission." Marcus paled. "Mom, I can explain." "Please do. Explain how $15,000 disappeared." "The business needed capital," Marcus stammered. "I was going to pay it back." "By selling my house?" "No one is selling your house," Vanessa interjected. "We were just discussing options." "Options that didn't include asking me?" "This is being blown out of proportion," Vanessa insisted. "Is it?" Tom spoke up. "Sounds like a takeover to me." "This doesn't concern you," Vanessa snapped. "It does," Diane countered. "Alicia is our friend." "I borrowed that money for the business," Marcus repeated. "Borrowing involves asking permission," I pointed out. "We were going to tell you," Marcus insisted. "When? After I signed over the deed to my house?" Vanessa slammed her hand on the table. "This is ridiculous! We've been keeping a roof over your head. My roof!" I shouted. "Over my head! In my house that I paid for!" "A house you can barely maintain," Vanessa retorted. "Those stairs are dangerous for someone your age." "I'm 58, not 98, I fired back. "We've been taking care of you," Vanessa insisted. "Or taking care of my bank account?" "Mom, please," Marcus pleaded. "We had good intentions." "I want the truth, Marcus." Marcus sighed. "The business isn't just struggling. It's failing. We were evicted from our apartment. So you came here and decided my house and money were the solution. The transfers were supposed to be temporary," Marcus admitted. "And the plans for my house?" "We thought it would be a win-win," Vanessa said defensively. "Without consulting me," I pointed out. "Did it occur to you that I love this house?" "I just wanted to fix things," Marcus whispered. "By stealing from your mother?" Tom asked. "We didn't steal anything," Vanessa shouted. "This dinner is a setup." "I invited witnesses," I corrected. "This is unbelievable," Vanessa fumed. "In our home?" "It's not our home," Marcus said quietly. "It's Mom's." Vanessa's face contorted with rage. "After everything we've done, what exactly have you done for me?" I interrupted. "I've had enough," Vanessa declared, grabbing her purse. "You're not going anywhere until you return my money," I stated. "Or what?" Vanessa challenged. "Or I call the police and report fraud." "You wouldn't dare," Vanessa hissed. "He's your son. Try me." Vanessa lunged for the bank statements, knocking over a glass of red wine that stained my mother's tablecloth. "Now look what you made me do!" Vanessa shouted. "What I made you do? If you weren't so stubborn about this ridiculous house, That's enough, Marcus interrupted. No, Vanessa screamed, grabbing a plate and hurling it against the wall. I'm sick of walking on eggshells in this museum. Tom stood up, phone in hand. I'm calling the police. Go ahead, Vanessa challenged. Vanessa! Marcus shouted, grabbing her arm. Stop it! Vanessa wrenched free. Don't you dare take her side! Return my money and move out or I press charges, I stated. You can't throw us out, Vanessa snarled. Diane held up her phone. I've been recording this conversation. Vanessa lunged for Diane's phone. In the chaos, her hand connected with my cheek. She hit me, I said, touching my face in disbelief. It was an accident, Vanessa insisted, though her eyes showed satisfaction. The police can sort that out, Tom said as sirens sounded in the distance. 2 weeks after the dinner confrontation, I sat across from Officer Jenkins at the police station, finalizing my statement. The bank has verified the unauthorized transfers, Officer Jenkins confirmed. And with the witness statements about the physical altercation, we have enough to proceed with charges. I never thought it would come to this, I admitted, pressing charges against my own daughter-in-law. Family situations are always complicated, Officer Jenkins acknowledged. But identity theft is a serious crime. Mrs. Davis? What happens now? Miss Reynolds will face charges for the financial fraud and the assault. The district attorney might offer a plea deal, but that's up to them. I nodded, still processing the reality of the situation. And my son? Officer Jenkins hesitated. The evidence suggests he was involved in the fraudulent transfers, but to a lesser extent. His cooperation has been noted. As I left the police station, I found Marcus waiting in the parking lot, looking haggard and defeated. Mom, he called, approaching cautiously. Can we talk? Where's Vanessa? I asked, glancing around. Staying with a friend, Marcus replied. We're taking some time apart. I see. I've been trying to gather the money to pay you back, Marcus continued. I sold my car and some other things. It's not the full amount yet, but I'm working on it. That's a start, I acknowledged, my tone neutral. I'm so sorry, Mom. Marcus's voice cracked. I got caught up in everything. The failing business, Vanessa's plans. But that's no excuse. What we did was wrong. Yes, it was, I agreed. You betrayed my trust, Marcus. You let your wife plan to take my house. My home? I know, Marcus hung his head. There's nothing I can say to make this right. No, there isn't, I confirmed. But actions speak louder than words. You're making restitution, and that counts for something. Does this mean you forgive me? Hope flickered in his eyes. No, I said firmly. Forgiveness may come someday, but not yet. Trust takes years to build and seconds to break. Marcus nodded, accepting this hard truth. What can I do? Continue paying back what you took, I instructed. And find somewhere else to live. I need my house back, all of it. I understand, Marcus said quietly. I'll be out by the end of the week. Good. As I turned to leave, Marcus called after me. Mom, for what it's worth, I never wanted to hurt you. I just got lost somewhere along the way. We all get lost sometimes, Marcus, I replied. The difference is whether we find our way back on our own or keep dragging others down with us. 3 months later, I hosted a housewarming party for myself. With Diane's help, I had reclaimed every room in my home, repainted and rearranged furniture to erase the memory of the invasion. The place looks amazing, Catherine declared, admiring my restored bedroom. It feels like you again. That's exactly what I was going for, I smiled, genuinely happy for the first time in months. Any word from Marcus? She asked cautiously. He calls every week, I confirmed. And he's still making payments, almost halfway there now. And Vanessa? Pleaded guilty to reduced charges, I explained. Community service, probation, and mandatory financial counseling. The court also issued a restraining order. She can't come near me or the house. Good, Catherine nodded firmly. Some bridges stay burned. Tom appeared in the doorway. Diane sent me to tell you we're all waiting for a toast from the lady of the house. Downstairs, my friends had gathered in the living room, people who had stood by me through the darkest moments. As I raised my glass, I felt a profound sense of reclamation. To good friends, I began, who remind us of our worth when others try to diminish it, to standing your ground even when it hurts, and to this old house, which has weathered worse storms than the one we just survived. Here, here, Diane cheered, clinking her glass against mine. Later, as the party wound down, Robert pulled me aside. I heard Marcus asked to come today. He did, I acknowledged. I told him it was too soon. Was that the right call? Robert asked gently. For now, yes, I said with certainty. He's making amends, but trust is earned, not given. Maybe someday we'll rebuild our relationship, but it will be on my terms, in my time. And Vanessa? That chapter is closed, I stated firmly. Some betrayals cut too deep for second chances. As the last guests left, I stood on my porch, and watched the sunset paint the neighborhood in golden hues. The house creaked comfortably around me, no longer filled with tension and schemes, but with peace and possibility. Inside, I walked from room to room, touching familiar surfaces and cherished mementos. In the master bedroom, my bedroom, I opened the window to let in the evening breeze and sat on the edge of the bed that Frank and I had shared for so many years. I did it, I whispered to the empty room, knowing somehow that Frank would have been proud. I fought for our home. The next morning, I met Diane for coffee on the porch, just like old times. So what's next for Alicia Davis? She asked, settling into her usual chair. Now that you've reclaimed your kingdom? I smiled, looking out at my garden where new flowers were beginning to bloom. I'm thinking of renovating the kitchen, I said with a hint of irony. On my terms, in my time. To new beginnings, Diane raised her mug. And hard-won wisdom, I added, clinking my cup against hers. Have you ever had to stand your ground against someone who tried to take what was rightfully yours? I'd love to hear how you handled it. Leave a comment below and don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories about reclaiming what's yours.